You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Welcome back to the Code Rad Show. Today is a very special occasion because today we begin the color era of Doctor Who. I wonder what it was like to be there back in, I should know what year this episode came out, but for Doctor Who to switch from black and white to color must have been, it must have been amazing.
Yes, first aired in 1970, January of 1970.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So right at the beginning of the 70s, the dawn of the 70s, new Doctor, new companion, new format for the show. The Doctor is no longer traveling in the cosmos and through time. He's stuck on Earth, although I guess no one's really sure what year it was supposed to be.
I think I read somewhere it's 1980. I'm not sure. I
have read that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I have read that it might be 1980, but I've read contradictory things that may be in different, in novels and stuff like that. It's the timeline is not set perfectly, but we could just say present day for the time that it was created.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So new, like I said, new era of Doctor Who. New Doctor, new format, new look, and new villains. We'll get to that a little bit later, but yeah, new villains.
Absolutely, yeah.
Classic villains in this era. So yeah.
Oh, for sure, and it starts off with a great new nemesis.
Indeed, the Autons and the Misty Intelligence.
Right, yeah. I mean, as a kid, the differentiating between a Nestine consciousness and Autons was a bit more than I cared to do. I mean, like for me, the enemies were the Autons.
Yes.
And I didn't really know where the Nestine thing came into it. And even when they did Rose 2005, something like that, it's just like, I think of the Autons are these plastic, mannequins that walk around killing people. And the Nestine consciousness is just, but I mean, returning to Spearhead from space after all these years, I loved the Nestine consciousness. The Autons smashing out of storefronts is an all-time iconic moment from Doctor Who. And I know this is not the only time in which Robert Holmes had a big enemy with big tentacles.
Yes.
I don't remember Tom Baker getting grabbed by tentacles in The Power of Krull, but and this is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a great episode. I still love it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't remember if Tom Baker ever encountered any tentacle monsters. I'm sure that he did, but nothing is coming to mind right now.
Yeah, Power of Krull has one of the all-time great ones, and someone does definitely get grabbed by those tentacles, and maybe one of the most underrated cliffhangers ever. No one talks about that, but it's incredible. So yeah, I mean, Robert Holmes definitely has themes running through his work, and so he's got at least two big tentacle monsters in his stories. And from what I understand, I mean, the Nestine consciousness is not naturally like a big octopus, but it just assumed that form in this particular situation when the Doctor was attacking it. I'm not sure about that. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference to me. It's super cool.
Yes.
This gross, squishy monster that is like in this tank.
And try to choke the Doctor out. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Well, I guess those orbs that were falling to Earth, I guess they were collecting those and they were assembling that creature in the tank. I thought that's, but it's not 100% clear. But I thought that's what they were doing, but maybe not. Does that
Yeah, I
sound
mean,
right?
I'm not sure how the creature in the tank got there. If that was one of the orbs, yeah, it's something it doesn't matter that much to me. Maybe someone could clear up the mystery for us.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Comments, comment below, because I mean, the orbs that fell from space, they contains consciousness of those, but then again, I mean, those mannequins didn't really exactly seem to be conscious. I mean, they're
No, they were just
Autons, for
slaves.
crying out
Yeah.
loud. They're automatons, I assume. So
They
yeah,
were. Remember those sea monkeys they would advertise in the 70s in those comic books?
yeah.
It was one of those. That's why they're. Yeah. They just somebody for sea monkey and dropped them in and just grew and grew and grew, and then yeah, that was the end
Yeah.
result.
Yeah. Yeah, iconic moment. It's a slow burn storyline, but I was never bored by it. I don't remember being overly impressed by this storyline as a kid, and I'm thinking, watching it now, this thing, this story has callbacks to so many of my favorite things. But then again, when at the age when I first saw this, like, I don't know, 13 or something, I had never seen all the other things. This, I mean, um, Spearhead from Space totally feels like a 1970s conspiracy movie, even
It
though, of
kind of
course,
does. Yeah.
this predates a lot of it. I was too lazy to get any photographs or pictures, but you have all these very shady corporate plus military types with the horn rim glasses, the 1960s professional haircut, like practically crew cut. All these guys who look like they would definitely be up to no good planning world takeovers. You have the corporate angle because it's like a plastic factory.
That one guy gets stacked, and they don't tell him why.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
good
they don't
example.
give him a really clear reason why. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you have parallels with the Manchurian Candidate. Um,
Oh wow. Yeah. And
even though
I
the
didn't think about that,
Manchurian,
but yeah.
right, and things like John Carpenter's The Thing, where people are being replaced. I mean, yeah, that there's a lot of storylines about politicians and other kinds of people being replaced by doubles. So yeah, here we
Yeah, I
have a
didn't think about that. That's a good
general.
observation. I did not even think of that about that at all.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, it
that
makes it
struck me.
fits.
Manchurian Candidate, Parallax View, the 1970s version of Body Snatchers.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah.
very similar to that. I mean, because there you have the general who apparently got put into a trance or something and put in a wax museum while his double was going to go out and do some evil stuff.
Well, how they did the doubles. How you can tell it's them, but it's not them. How they kind of have a very waxy. There's reflection on their faces in the camera
Yeah.
to kind of give off like a very waxy, very fake, look.
Yeah, I thought that
Um,
was very well done. That was pretty
yeah.
creepy when the characters would have that sort of waxy, shiny look to their faces.
I just don't know what's about the mannequins. Maybe I don't know how common mannequins are in horror stories, but there's something about mannequins, especially those old ones, and you would see
Mm.
them all at the 80s. There was something just unsettling about them. Not sure if you can't, they have a lot of them don't have any eyes. You can't see, any emotion or expressions. But yeah, there's something about mannequins that can be very unsettling.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The blank look on their face, and then you know puppets as well.
Yeah, yeah. If it,
Yeah,
dummies, yeah,
puppets,
dummies.
puppets, dummies. Yeah, they're all fixtures in horror movies, scary
Magic. And
stories. Magic, a great example of a ventriloquist dummy. Great, yeah. Um, even though this is more like a clown, but the kid's toy in Poltergeist.
oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
Soup that probably be more categorized as a clown, but I mean it counts. It's basically a doll or a dummy, similar to a mannequin, and very scary.
It's kind of funny. There was a movie in the 50s, I think, or is it called Devil Doll, where it was about this doll. named Hugo. The doll would come to life and it would kill people. But it looked a lot, kind of like kind of like the Autons, like just bald. Not, I think he had eyes, or eyeballs, but he didn't really have.
Okay.
He's not very expressionless, look on his face.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah, it just kind of reminded me of Hugo. Only
Yeah.
rather than one Hugo, there's a bunch of them. So yeah.
And ironically, maybe the most famous killer doll, Chucky,
Oh yeah,
has a very expressive face. The special effects they did to make Chucky come to life are incredible.
that was pretty amazing. Yeah.
He had all kinds of expressions, and then as the series went on, his face got more scarred and ripped up, and as his eyeballs got popped out and his hair got, I mean, at one point, like his hair got pulled out and then like stapled back on. It was crazy. So he was kind of like the opposite end of the spectrum. He was the opposite. He was the opposite of an Auton. Plus, he had a lot of personality too.
He did. Yeah, he
Whereas,
did. He was funny.
Autons were pretty sure were just robotic plastic, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the kind of the slaves of the Nesteens. Yeah, just just use them to do our dirty work. Um, I want a good guy doll.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess did find some interesting tidbits of this particular episode. Should I bring up the slides?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about this episode. Yeah, I mean, you could talk about the Autons and
Let's
let's
see.
see.
Hello.
There we go.
So there we go. Cover. I think it's one of the DVD releases. Very nice, very cool cover there. But we see the Third Doctor, Miss Shaw. I guess
Yeah.
some of the Autons weren't bald. I guess some of them had wigs. But
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty creepy right there. You can't see. There's no expression in the face.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and I mean, do you call that a kerchief wrapped around the neck? That became, I think, part of their look. That's cool. I like that as a part of the Auton uniform, having that kerchief around the neck.
Maybe an ascot. Maybe, but yeah, it's very.
Or maybe
Yeah, I guess so.
ascot. Is that what it is?
Maybe.
I don't know, but some kind of scarf thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. British.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. So let's see what else do we have. So not only so this was the first Doctor Who episode to be shot in color. Now I thought also it was the first episode to be shot on 16 millimeter film.
Yes.
And also the only one because I think it just proved to be too expensive and they're trying to cut back. I think one of the reasons why they had Jon Pertwee on Earth was because to save money.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was
yes. Yeah, such a shame. I mean, I just love things shot on film.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now that pretty much everything has switched over to digital video.
Yeah.
And the people always say like, oh, the video looks just as good as film, and I don't think it does.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, three things that really come to mind are the prequels. Part of the reason why Phantom Menace is my favorite of the prequels is because that was the only one that was shot entirely on film, and I think it looks better for that reason. And then you also have Breaking Bad was shot on film.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
Breaking Bad was like one of the last things shot on film.
Wow.
And they insisted on, keeping film until the end of it. But then when they did Better Call Saul, they switched to video. And I don't think Better Call Saul looks as good as Breaking Bad. And then finally, Twin Peaks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The dear departed David Lynch is, baby. I don't think that the revival on Showtime a few years ago, I don't think that looks anywhere near as good as the classic episodes of Twin Peaks. So yeah, sorry for that diversion.
No,
yeah, I love that Spearhead from Space is shot on film, and I wish more Doctor Who could have been.
Yeah, same here. And yeah, I didn't know the Phantom Menace was shot on film, and Phantom Menace gets a lot of hate, but I actually like it. I mean, a lot of fans don't. I'm sure people are going to say like, "What are you talking about? Episode 1 was terrible." But it's like, it wasn't. I mean, I don't think it really was. Like, I didn't really like 2, but episode 1 I thought I liked it.
Yeah, I think of Phantom Menace as an all-time classic. I really love it, and yeah, I kind of think the prequels are kind of like Halloween 3. There was a time when it was just an accepted fact that Halloween 3 is a bad movie. I remember being in high school, and everyone's just like, Halloween 3 sucks. Michael Myers is not in it. Now it's considered like an all-time horror classic. People love it, and I think now that people that were young are grown up. People that were young when Phantom Menace came out are grown up now. There's a lot of fans out there. I think people appreciate it a lot more now.
Yeah. It was 1999. I can't believe it.
Oh
Crazy.
yeah, it's more than 25 years now. Crazy.
Let's see. So I thought that 1970 was the first year that the BBC 1 and 2 broadcast in color, but it wasn't. Um, apparently, so Britain got color TV in 1967.
Wow.
Uh, BBC 2 was the first to broadcast in color before ITV and BBC 1. Let's see. And I guess you're familiar with the TV license. Like, I don't know if they have that now, but basically you pay for a TV license.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe they still have it. They've been talking about getting rid of it forever, but
Yeah, I
I
think
think you
everything's
still have to
streaming
pay
now,
for
so I
the
think
yeah.
you wouldn't need it. But so
Right.
basically,
Right. Yeah.
um, so £5 would get you a black and white TV license, but for 10, you can
Yeah.
get a color TV license.
Oh wow, that's how much it cost in 1970.
Yeah, well, around 67, 68, like around that
67.
that
Okay.
time, and then to 70.
Wow.
Yeah, so now that'd be a little more, but yeah, but that's yeah. So if you want a
Yeah.
color TV license, it's extra. Let's see. So now before Spearhead from Space, Doctor Who was kind of in a period of uncertainty. They weren't sure
Okay.
if they were going to carry on with the series or not. That's kind of why they ended the War Games the way they did, was because they weren't really sure if there
Mm.
were going to be any new episodes after that. So they wrapped it up really nicely. I do believe they decided the ratings were strong enough, not really as high as they were with William Hartnell, but still, pretty solid.
Okay.
Um, so they decided to, carry on with the new Doctor. One guy they were considering was an actor named Ron Moody,
Hmm.
who was considered for the role. I don't know much about him, but he was in the running to
No.
be the third Doctor. But was decided that the role would go to Jon Pertwee.
Mm.
He was mostly known for doing like light comedies. He really hadn't done much serious acting, and I don't
Yeah.
think any sci-fi at all. But I do remember they went to him and he asked them, "How do you want me to play this?" And they said, "Well, just be yourself." And he's like, well, "What do you mean?" Because that's the worst thing you can tell an actor is, "Hey, just be yourself." It's like, well, that's not what I do. That's not the point of acting. I act so I can, you know, tap into other personalities that aren't normally me. But he was, an adventurer. He did like to he did mostly his own stunts. He was very athletic. He loved to race
Mm.
cars and um, motorbikes and boats. We saw a lot of them play on the spiders, but he loved doing all that.
Mm.
Um, yeah, very the first ever action-oriented Doctor, and he was definitely a
Mm.
man of action.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Good way of putting it. Yeah.
yeah,
A
yeah,
nice change of pace.
behind the camera and in front of the camera, he was definitely very physical.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So yeah, we so not only new with the color, being filmed in color and shown in color.
Yeah.
Not only a new Doctor, we would see new villains, and this was the first of the new villains we would see. We have an Auton here, which may not be the most it's not special effects heavy, but I think it's still pretty effective. It's kind of scary. If I saw that guy coming towards me, I would just kind of slowly just kind of go the other way, because you can't see his true face or his true emotions, and here's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So you would see other new villains come to light. The Sea Devils, the Silurians, eventually the Centaurans,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually the Masters we'd see the next season, but not just yet.
Oh, really? Master doesn't come along until the following season?
No, but ironically, the Autons return in the Masters debut episode.
Okay.
Terror of the Autons. So yeah, we can cover that another time. But yeah, Master didn't come until next season.
I love pictures of Doctor Who in London. There's
Yes,
classic pictures of the Daleks, like on I think on London Bridge, or but with Big Ben in the
right.
background, and this too. I mean, getting to see the Autons on the attack in London is pretty great. They're
Just smashing the shop windows and people running and those flip
yeah,
open guns they had in their hands. I thought that's just really surprised they didn't use them more. I mean, they didn't really come back until like you mentioned, Rose. They didn't really, not that I can remember.
yeah, because I don't think they ever came back during the Peter Davison era, which is kind
Nope.
of like known as the fan wank era or whatever. John Nathan Turner was infamous for reusing so many old characters, bringing back so many old villains, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the Autons did not come back during that time or during the Colin
No.
Baker era. It was Russell T Davis had some good ideas, and yeah, bringing back the Autons for the premiere, I think was one of them.
Yeah, very good idea.
Having Mickey get eaten by a garbage can, I'm not sure, or a rubbish bin. Not sure if that was the highlight of Doctor Who, but kind of getting off topic again.
That's what happens when the garbage disposes of you.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got.
Nah.
I guess my only kind of complaint was, okay, so I know you're acting against these rubber tentacles, but I think it's kind of like a goofy face, like who just like what he's doing right there. I think it's like a Toon face, which I don't know quite fits. I think it just
Sure.
kind of comes across as maybe a little too hammy.
Well, yeah, that and the thing about communicating with your eyebrows like on another planet.
Oh, Delphon, yeah, that's
that was
Delphon
cute, but it was kind of at odds with the first 3 episodes are very much a bunch of people, a bunch of very serious middle-aged men talking about stuff for most part. And so I love Jon Pertwee, but yeah, there is some stuff in there that seems kind of geared towards kids.
Yeah.
Here's this lovable, clownish kind of hero guy for you kids to all root for. And it was a little at odds with like the seriousness of the episode, a bunch of men in suits discussing things very seriously. And the one, I don't know what you would call that. I want to say he's kind of like a hillbilly. I don't know what you'd call that kind of guy who's like out there hunting squirrels or whatever. And he just seems to be up to no good. And he's got the wife he's always arguing with.
Oh, this guy?
Right. He's great.
I couldn't understand him. I had a hard time understanding everything he was saying. I felt bad, but I just had to turn the subtitles on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got some things,
Yeah.
not everything, but some things he said I understood. But other things I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he probably had the best line and the best part of the whole episode when the unit soldier is like, didn't you see the patrol? He's like, oh yeah, but they didn't say me.
That was good. Yeah, they didn't say me.
Yeah.
I believe he was a poacher. I think they said he was a poacher. I think.
Yeah, they describe him as a poacher, which I don't know. Is that like is that something, a category of like maybe English country people would go out
basically
shooting squirrels and
you hunt and fish, but illegally.
Right, yeah.
And I guess you sell whatever you catch or kill or whatever. But yeah, you can tell he's not a very. But yeah, he does have some good lines.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was a great character. Just grabbing these meteors. He's like, yeah. Would there happen to be a reward for those meteors? He's like, why? Have you got one? No, I'm just asking.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I never said that, sir.
Or
So,
I
yeah.
haven't got one.
Why is your bag glowing?
But oh yeah, and like another reference, this guy, he really was just like the old man in the Blob. That's what he
Yes.
reminded me of. He he had a better fate. I mean, at least he didn't die immediately. Does he die, or does he survive the episode?
I think
I
he
don't.
did. I should know this. I just watched it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I remember his wife blowing away Autons with the rifle, and which
Yeah,
didn't really
yeah.
work. But I don't remember this guy getting killed. I think he. But I don't really remember him at the end of the episode either. So he may have just kind of faded into the background.
Yeah, it's like we'll just pretend to never. Yeah, just kind of just never show
Yeah.
him again. um, let's see. There was something else I found out about Jon Pertwee I didn't know. So he was an actor, and but also I didn't know this. He apparently was in the restaurant business.
Oh, cool.
He had a fast food restaurant from 1976 to 1980, which I
Oh,
didn't
wow.
know, called Pertwee's. And there he is with his hat and another guy. And he opened a restaurant in the Acton section of London.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I had no idea until today. I had no idea that was ever. He was yeah, he had his own restaurant, but it was kind of hard to find an image of it. It was simply called Pertwee's, but sorry, it's kind of a little blurry there, but if you can see it.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I never knew he had his own restaurant.
Yeah, it reminds me a little of how Tom Baker, they say he got word that he got the role of Doctor Who while he was on a work site. He was a construction worker.
He was, yes.
Which is so fascinating because, of course, they're all, British actors are all trained to, in the Shakespearean manner. They all have that very upper crust British elocution, even if you are a working class stiff. I mean, like flipping burgers at your restaurant or working in a construction site. Yeah, I mean, Tom Baker, of course, sounds as posh as you could be, but
Yeah.
and I don't know his life story that much, but if he was working on a construction site, obviously he wasn't what you would call middle class in a London or in England society.
They called him Boiler Suit Tom.
Oh, really?
I guess like jumpsuit. I guess that's jumpsuit, or maybe like a
Right,
suit.
right.
But yeah, Boiler Suit Tom. Yeah, he was born in Liverpool, like I think working class family, and wanted to get into acting. But I think you got to do something. So I guess I figured I'll just do I'll work here until I get something a pretty steady gig, and eventually did.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most famous roles in all British television. So I think that's about it for me. But let me just nope. Yeah, so this sub, yeah, but overall I thought that was an interesting tidbit about it, the burger place. But yeah, very enjoyable story. I still, he's still my favorite Doctor. I enjoyed this when I first saw it back, I guess in 1989 or 90, but I loved it back then. It's even better now with the cliffhanger. So yeah. So I still enjoy it very much. This is fun. A lot of fun watching this.
Yeah, great introduction to the character. I think that's a great way to meet a new Doctor. I mean, there's different ways you can do it. They've done other clever variations, but just for like the TARDIS door to open and the Doctor fall out unconscious is very dramatic. Yes. I like that a lot. That
the
was
same
cool.
Clothes.
Right. Yeah, wearing the former Doctor's outfit. I remember, that was pretty cool. And David Tennant crashed the TARDIS and fell out. I think he actually said something before he passed out, but very dramatic the way Jon Pertwee just falls out into the grass. So, and then, and as a result of that, I didn't realize this is where we first learned that the Doctor has two hearts.
Yes, the X-rays.
Crazy how much of like Doctor Who lore was created by Robert Holmes, the regeneration cycle and stuff. And because I mean, apparently people thought Time Lords might have been humans up until this point. I guess it was widely thought, or at least, among some people, that the Time Lords were just future Earthlings. So
Yeah, I guess they weren't really sure when they first. But yeah, he did definitely create a lot of the mythos we know now, and also when the Doctor gets really stressed, I guess remember the gunshot where he passes out.
yeah.
Maybe got shot, but they just passed out. But yeah, apparently when the Time Lords get stressed, they apparently can fall into a coma.
Right,
Which never
yeah.
solved. Yeah.
Yeah. Jedis have a similar thing too, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
So yeah, Two Hearts, that's a big part of Doctor Who folklore. So one interesting tidbit I learned, there was like some some hassles with the filming of this episode, which I think is what partly led to it being filmed on 16 millimeter. The whole thing, there were like strikes, and I don't remember the details. But in any case, in one of the situations, the BBC, in order to kind of obscure the fact that they were using non-union actors to play Autons, they credited the extras as Ivan Orton, which I don't know. Some people think sounds like I'm an Auton, but I mean Ivan. It sounds more like like I have an Auton. Ivan.
Yeah. Ivan. Okay.
Ivan Orton. But I mean that's cute. That's a little bit of Doctor Who folklore.
Ivan Horton. Okay. What if you mix the letters around? If you get something else, I wonder.
Yeah.
Switch them around. Ivan Horton. Yeah. Huh. No, I never knew that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember seeing that name watching the closing credits, but yeah. And I also thought it was interesting that Doctor helps save the world from invasion again, and then he's like, well, I really love my new suit and my new car, and Brigadier's like, yeah, you can't keep them. You would think he just saved the Earth from invasion. Maybe you could reimburse the owners of the car and the suit, but it's like promises we'll get you a new one for next episode.
Yeah, we'll get you. Yeah, we can spare a car and a suit and
And yeah, I always really liked Bessie.
Me too.
Very vivid memories of Robot.
Oh yeah.
The first Tom Baker episode, and of course that plays a big role in the climactic scene.
Yes.
Bessie, the Doctor drives past the robot with a bucket of acid or something.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And so, I think we've covered all the major parts, the major points of this episode. New companion, who I've got to say is probably one of the less remembered companions. I pretty much forgot she existed until I saw this episode.
I thought she was good. I know she didn't stay, but she was good. I didn't think not as good as Jo Grant or Sarah, but I thought she was still good.
Yeah. I mean, Jo and Sarah are two all-time greats. Although I think I read that Liz kind of violated one of the major rules of a companion. Is I think she was too smart. Part of the role of a companion is you've got to always be asking the Doctor questions so he can explain it to her, and the audience what's going on. And I guess she was too smart to be always asking the Doctor questions. So apparently they just kind of kicked her off the show at the end of the season, never gave her a proper send-off or anything, which is too bad because she's perfectly good character. Yeah.
But not quite the vibrant energy or the vivaciousness that Jo Grant had.
Oh yeah.
But still, she was. I thought she was good, but I guess I can see. Yeah, at least give her a send off though or something. It's a shame. They're just like, sorry, we don't need you back. But
yeah, I mean, she fit the new format. I mean, the show felt more grown up and dealing with serious matters. I mean, I know that, and that doesn't necessarily last. I mean, it's kind of hard to take Jon Pertwee versus the dinosaurs very seriously.
It was
But
fun though.
yeah, but the Autons is a great episode, I think, in working within the constraints they had.
Yes.
They managed to make it very creepy and interesting, without having lots of special effects. And they
Yeah.
say, and then I like the way they elevate it to another level. It's about the story is about these mannequins with guns in their hands, and then out of nowhere, this gross monster in a tank attacks the
Yes.
doctor. I like that when they up the the drama like that. It's like,
Yes.
all right, it's not just the plastic thing. We also got a monster octopus who's gonna eat the doctor. So really great episode.
I mean,
Classic.
we never even seen its we never saw its whole body. We just saw its I guess we saw its eye, I guess, in the tank, but
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I don't really want to think about what we were able to see of it through that window in the tank.
yeah, it was kind of hard to see. It was like a plastic
Yeah.
bag, but still, yeah, the tentacles, yeah, and we never saw its full appearance. So what does it look like? We don't really know. So
Yeah,
yeah, that was very
so much they could do with that. And I have a feeling they probably have in audio dramas and novels, but I haven't really. I've read a few new adventure books. I've never listened to a single audio drama,
I
which
haven't
is a
either.
shame.
No.
Yeah, because I would love to hear my favorite doctors in new adventures, and
Yeah,
the companions too.
yeah. I mean, me too. I don't know. I haven't really dabbled in that, but I guess I still got enough on my plate as it is. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
there's some audio adventures I wouldn't mind, especially the Eighth Doctor, because he really I feel like he didn't really get his just due. I thought he was really good.
yeah, yeah. He was very good, and it's great that they have other avenues. As a matter of fact, like I remember reading a novel. I think a totally literary adventure that came out during the years when there was no TV show. So just
Okay, the
to
Dark. Okay,
just to get some more adventures from that Doctor number 8. So Paul McGann.
Paul McGann, indeed. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Very underrated Doctor. But yeah, I think it still holds up, and I would recommend anybody out there to track it down and watch it. You can watch it on YouTube for free. Um, yeah, they're really adding a lot more to their channel, which is nice. You can see all the classic, not all of them, but they're adding more and more every day. But you can see a good chunk of the classic era.
I do like that. I was way back in the day, you could watch some episodes on Amazon Prime, but that is no longer the case. So yeah,
No.
glad to see him turning up on YouTube as well as Tubi and probably some other.
Yeah, Tubi. Yeah,
All right,
I would
so
recommend this. Yeah,
all right, so I think that we've covered all the main points. Spearhead in space, Doctor Who
Indeed.
in color,
Indeed.
and intact going forward. We don't have to worry about any more missing episodes from here on out, right?
Yes, it's like ugh. So yes, now every episode from Spearhead in Space forward, actually you can see. So yeah, so it's
And they're not going to they're not going to erase any episodes if you're filming in color. I guess you're not going to throw them away. You're going to keep them.
I think some they did throw away. I think, but they got them back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of them they got back from either the USA or Canada because they would show them in both countries. Like I think during the late mid '70s, and some people would tape them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and to send them back, it's like, oh, you don't have it? Here we go. Just got it on tape. So yeah, so yep. Yes,
All right.
indeed.
Well, thank you, Jim. It was good to visit 1970.
Thank you so much.
And
Fun.
all right. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, take care, everybody.
Let us know what you thought of this episode. Any interesting facts about Jon Pertwee and Spearhead from Space, and we're going to go. Bye, everyone.
Take care, everybody.